Welcome back. Former Governor Sir Hugo Moresby White has died at the age of 74. During his naval career, Sir Hugo commanded a number of vessels, including submarine HMS Oracle and frigate HMS Avenger. He served as captain during the Falklands War and went on to work for the Chief of Defence Staff in 1982, becoming Commander-in-Chief of the fleet in 1992. Sir Hugo was Governor of Gibraltar between 1995 and 1997. He is survived by his wife Josephine and 2 sons. A private funeral will take place later this month. The GSD opposition is launching a consultation exercise into the possibility of creating a co-education superschool at the Rook site if it wins the next election. As part of its education policy rolled out this week, the GSD says it would spend between £25 and £35 million on revamping the education system, an exercise which would also see the creation of a careers advice centre.
The GSD says its objective is to create one of the top education systems in the world and is consulting widely with stakeholders in order to draft a policy which they will then present at the next election.
Our next manifesto will provide a complete vision for education and demonstrate our commitment to the target we have set ourselves to elevate our system to deliver the best results for our children, whether that be academic, vocational or in training.
Top of the list is a secondary education campus at the Rook site, which will offer a co-education sixth form and training college in order to equalise subject choice at secondary level.
It's time to take stock. What has happened over 40 years? The system has worked, but there's room for improvement. And we hope that the teaching profession will give us as well their good and honest opinions.
From today, we launch a wide consultation with all stakeholders as to how best to utilise the new facility, examining a broad range of options from maintaining the current single-sex comprehensive model all the way through to a single large co-educational facility with all the options in between.
What this does as well is that this obviously, the policy that Isabel has announced, what it does is, as Isabel has pointed out, it releases land for other use. So we have, for example, the College of Further Education could be released in order to be used for office space, which is very much needed in Gibraltar. Bayside Comprehensive can be released in order to actually allow the upgrading of Victoria Stadium into a Cat 4 stadium.
Another priority for the GSD is the creation of a careers and support advisory service to identify skills gaps in the job market and incentivise students with top-up grants to fill those gaps.
The purpose of homing in on Careers and Advisory Support Centre at the new campus is purely to assist students with better advice and more options when choosing a career or job. I think it's fair to say that the present system has been informal and at best inconsistent.
If you achieve the A-levels that you need in order to go to a university to do the degree that will allow you to come back and fill that skills gap, degrees that are necessary here in Gibraltar, we are going to incentivise you by offering you, for example, a top-up grant or some form of extra monetary compensation. So what we've got to do is try and channel young people into those degrees that are most necessary in Gibraltar.
The GSD policy also includes a counselling service and a canteen service for students and staff. The party has costed the project at between 25 to 35 million and is confident it can be completed in a 4-year term.
The Queen's Hotel has closed down after over 60 years of serving Gibraltar's tourist industry. The hotel's lease has been bought out by the Gibraltar government to make way for the new theatre complex, which will include the Queen's Cinema.
The Ministry of Culture announced the imminent purchase of the hotel some months back, but GBC understands negotiations had been lengthy and detailed. In a short statement, the government said more details would be made public when the purchase had been completed. A spokesperson for the Queen's Hotel told us last guests were regular visitors, Mr and Mrs Connor, who checked out earlier in the week. Meanwhile, the GSD says it's been approached by members of the shipping sector who are concerned at the effect the closure of the Queen's Hotel will have on them. The opposition says the sudden closure of the hotel has left a gap in the market for a budget hotel, which was the preferred choice of crew changes at a reasonable cost. It says the net effect is that operators will have to pass on price increases to their clients and reduce Gibraltar's ability to compete in this sector at a time when there's already stiff competition from the port of Algeciras. The GSD asks the government to explain whether it took these industry concerns into consideration when it closed the Queen's Hotel and what plans it has put in place in order to ensure that industry concerns are addressed.
Last Sunday's Your Flight journeys from Marrakesh to Gibraltar and from the Rock to the Moroccan city were cancelled at the 11th hour. Although no flights can be booked on its website at the moment, the company has told GBC all other flights proceed as normal. The company's plane has a capacity for 70 passengers, but there were just 13 booked for the Marrakesh-Gibraltar leg. According to Your Flight, only 3 of them turned up at the Moroccan airport. GBC understands the word had spread that the flight had been cancelled, although the company has told GBC it had given no prior notice of this. It's conceded, however, that the flight had actually been cancelled on Friday afternoon, quote, due to operational reasons, while adding that no airline informs its passengers of a cancellation. The spokesperson explained that the 3 passengers who turned up at the airport were rerouted via Casablanca and Malaga, with hotel and refreshments provided by Your Flight. Speaking to GBC on condition of anonymity, one would-be holiday maker said she was called on Saturday afternoon and told her package holiday to Marrakesh, which was due to start with a flight out on Sunday, had been cancelled. With just 24 hours' notice, she was left without a holiday, but she got a full refund on Monday. At present, the Your Flight website is not taking any bookings. However, in response to GBC questions, a Your Flight representative said, to date, all other flights proceed as normal. Also this week, there will be a new commander British forces this summer. Commodore Ian McGee will take over from Commodore John Clink, who has been promoted to Rear Admiral. New amenities will be put in place for Sandy Bay users, including seating, concrete tables and a small barbecue area. And World Environment Day was celebrated on the Rock for the 10th consecutive year. For the rest of this week's news, you can head over to our website, gbc.gi/news. Don't forget to tune into Radio Gibraltar and GBC Television throughout the week for the very latest local news. And you can also follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Thank you very much for watching. From the team, good night.